Hi everyone. مثل ما بتعرفوا على طول بدي اياكم تشيكولي الاسم. هاي جودية، كيفك؟ اوكي، شيكولي كيف طالع الصوت عندكم، كل شيء اوكي، وانتظر شوي للكل يجي. هاي جني. ان شاء الله تكونوا كلكم جيتوا خبرتوني ناطرين. ثانك يو جاني، ثانك يو. مثل ما خبرتكم انه اليوم المقابله مع دكتور ماريا رح تكون بالانجليزي، بس ان شاء الله رح خليها تضلها سيف عندي وترجمها للعربي ونزلها على اليوتيوب عندي. هاي هنادي حبيبتي، شو حلمتي؟ ان شاء الله يكون الحلم حلو. شو غني لكم؟ حبيبتي ثانك يو سو ماتش. رح انطر بس دقيقه بعد قبل ما بلش اسال دكتور ماريا وتعرف عن نفسها. خلينا ننطر الكل يجي. شكرا. good luck حبيبتي. خبروني كيف الوضع، الصوت، كل شيء اوكي؟ ما بتتخيلوا قديش انا اليوم متحمسه هاي الانترفيو. مثل ما بتعرفوا انا على طول بحكيكم عن الدكتورز، وعلى طول صعب علي اني انصحكم، لانه بعرف اوقات تسالوني شو باخذ فيتامينز او شو بعمل، لانه لازم كل شخص يعرف هو كيف طريقه جسمه وشو لازم ياخذ. فاليوم مبسوطه اكون مع دكتور ماريا، هي تشرح لكم كيف بتعملوا الفحوصات وشو لازم تعملوا لتعرفوا كيف تتابعوا نظام صحي بحياتكم. شكرا كثير، بشكركم ومبسوطه انه كلكم جيتوا اونلاين. يلا شوي ورح بلش مع دكتور ماريا. ما تخافوا، رح خليه سيف ورح نزله على اليوتيوب، وكمان رح نزله اذا قدرت بعد هذا التسجيل نزله على الاي جي تي في. يلا شكرا حبيباتي. هلا رح ابرم الصوره على دكتور ماريا وانا بقدر شوف الكومنتس، يعني اذا عندكم اسئله فيكم تكتبوها. اوكي سو خليكم شوي معي. How can I switch to go to Dr. Maria now? Okay. Hello Dr. Maria.
Hi Maha, how are you?
Good. هلا بدي منكم بس تقولوا لي اذا قادرين تسمعوا دكتور ماريا. Dr. Maria, I'm so happy you are here, and I would like you just please to introduce yourself.
Yeah. First of all, I would say thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really happy to have this conversation with you. I know many of your followers are women, and they might be very interested in what we have to talk today. My name is Dr. Maria. I've been here in the UAE for the last 15 years. My background is I'm a normal doctor, but I also, my specialty is preventive medicine, but I also have training in traditional Chinese medicine, and I have a very holistic approach to health and well-being, which includes, let's say, Western medicine and also complementary and alternative medicine. So I try to combine both for the benefits of my patients.
Okay, so I'm so excited, Dr. Maria. You know, I've been talking with you for a while, and I'm so happy you invited me here. My first question for you is, now more than ever during the COVID-19, people are starting to understanding the importance of having a strong immune system. Can you tell us what we should eat or drink to strengthen our immune system?
Well, that's a very, very complex question. So when we talk immune system, there's so many things that influence that. Food is definitely one important part, but sleep is as much important. Movement, how we exercise, how we deal with stress, our hormones, all that influence our immune system. So we really need to look at persons and what is their current life situation, what they are doing, and then just try to optimize things. Sometimes little changes make a big difference. And if we talk food, of course, a healthy diet means different things for different people, but generally we can say that no junk, no artificial additives, and if possible to make it from scratch so you know what goes into your food. If you buy a packet of something, there might be additives, preservatives, and things that you don't want to have there. So it's important that you know what you're eating, and of course, besides that you make sure that you get from all food groups, you get the nutrients, you get the vitamins, the minerals. So all that needs to be taken into account. But again, If you are very stressed, you need a different type of food. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding. So this is a very individualized approach that you have to have a conversation with every single person to really be able to advise them best. If general advice, stick to 3 meals, don't skip your breakfast, for example. Most of your diet, according to research, should be plant-based. People underestimate how important that is and how much inflammation animal products can trigger, besides, of course, the cholesterol, the uric acid, all that comes with that. So you can't go wrong if, let's say, 80% of your food is fruits and vegetables, you can't go wrong with that. If you have 3 meals, and if you do your food at home, or make sure that there's no additives or any other nasties in it. So that's like a very general.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to just start now, they should stick to the 3 meals, break in between meals.
Yes.
What about snack, doctor?
Snack depends. If you're worried about your weight or you have problems a little bit with your blood sugar, you should not snack in between. You should keep time in between. First of all, so your blood sugar can go back to normal after a meal, and you can burn fat and also maintain your weight. And also for your digestion. If you keep snacking, your digestion is on and off. So you don't have time to finish digesting one food, then you eat the next one. So it's very important to give a break. Otherwise, you might end up with gas, bloating, constipation as well. So it might affect your digestion if you eat too often. Generally speaking, 3 meals should be really ideal for everyone. Maybe if you're pregnant, not, or if you have low blood sugar because you're taking medication for your diabetes. That are exceptions, but in general, yes.
And regarding the sleep, you mentioned the sleep, and I know it's a big issue.
So underestimated, You see, everything starts with a good night's sleep. Yeah. If you don't sleep well, you will have not enough energy. You will feel hungry all the time, so you might eat more and more sweets because that gives you like a short-term energy. Your hormones might get messed up. You might have too high cortisol levels. Then that will affect what you eat, that will affect how you feel. Your mood will be affected. Fertility can be affected. So sleep is also when the repair takes place. So it's not a waste of time. Sleep is very important. And people that are proud of themselves that they can run on 3-4 hours, that's something short-term. Long-term, it will affect your health.
And when we say sleep, you mean between 10 o'clock at the evening, correct?
Everybody, you have a body clock, and the sleep at night, you cannot make it up with sleep during the day. There are studies on people that work on night shift. That's a complete nightmare for your system. So actually, you need to sleep early, ideally 9, 10, 10:30, you go to bed, and then you have your 8 to 9 hours. Latest research says you need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So you do the math, how much sleep you need and what time you need to go to bed.
سمعتوا يا حلوين؟ النوم من 8 ل 9 ساعات والساعة 10 بالليل مش 3 الصبح. بس عم خبركم هيدي كتير مهمة. Okay, doctor, next question for you. Many people have found the last few months very challenging and highly stressful. What advice would you give to women on how to improve their mental, emotional and physical well-being? And I know this is a very long conversation.
Yes.
But if we need to give something for women to start today, like small steps they can make to help them go through this challenging time.
Well, we spoke already about the sleep. Make sure you have a sleeping schedule that you stick to. Your food, we spoke about that as well. And for the mental health and well-being, if you sleep well, of course your mood will be better. Then you need to find something to cope with the stress. It might be, for some people listening to music, for others it might be yoga, meditation. You need to find something that really, makes you calm and relax, breathing exercises, and you need a routine. If everything around you is changing and upside down, if you keep a routine, this will help you to stay grounded and more calm. Get up at the same time, have your meals at the same time, go to bed. Activate your social contacts, friends, family are so important because that gives you the happy hormones that you need, that you don't feel alone. Because if you feel loneliness is also a very important factor when it comes to anxiety.
Yeah.
So this is very, very small things, and everybody can take care of that, and everybody can take care of friends and other people that
Absolutely.
they will need.
Yeah, even we are social distancing, we need to stay in touch and contact. And I don't know if I told you before, when I went for a retreat last year, and the year I found out that I'm a very lonely person. And I thought if I'm a busy woman and I have a family, that's enough, I'm not lonely. But the doctor there found out that I keep everything inside and I don't share and I don't talk much. I just run and do my own thing alone. I'm happy, content alone. And since last year, I do much more things, and I can see how much it affects me to be lonely. You know, and I totally understand that if you understand you are lonely, you have to find a way to connect to other people. My third question for you, can you tell us more about, I think this is the word, intermediate fasting?
Yes, intermittent fasting.
عم بسأل عن الصيام المتقطع. هذا كتير مهم وكتير عم شوف ناس عم يحكوا فيه على السوشيال ميديا. I do that for the last 8 years. That's why I finish my last meal at 7 p.m. and I start food after 15-16 hours. A lot of people ask me how I do it. I'm always scared to say to people because I'm not sure about their lifestyle. Because if you sleep at 3 in the morning and so it's not right how you do it. So can you tell us what the best way, how you can do it?
Yeah, it's a very discussed topic at the moment and it's very trendy. Intermittent fasting, if you do it the right way, can be so helpful for your overall health, for weight maintenance, for basically everything. The important part of that is that you don't skip the wrong meals. And you're doing it absolutely right. You're having your last meal early, so you have the fasting overnight. The fasting needs to be overnight. You should not have your dinner at 12 midnight and then start eating in the afternoon. This is not beneficial at all and will mess with your hormones and your whole system, even your digestion. Your digestion has a clock and it works best in the morning and worst in the evening. If you have a late dinner, it will stay undigested for hours. It will create digestion problems, sleeping problems, everything. So intermittent fasting is great if you have an early dinner and then you have a long overnight fasting and then you start with your breakfast in the morning. So very beneficial, but this is very important. Even your levels of growth hormone. If you do the overnight fasting, it will improve your levels of naturally growth hormone. Yeah. So it's the way you do it. So intermittent fasting, great tool, weight maintenance, weight loss, hormonal balance, but fasting overnight.
And also what I notice, I have a lot of energy when I wake up. Long time ago, even in my 20s, I had very bad energy because I always ate wrongly and late and I never drank enough water.
The quality of sleep will not be the same if you have a late dinner because your tummy will be busy digestion and putting a lot of energy in that area. So you will wake up heavy and full. You will have problems, sluggishness the next day. It will affect not only your digestion, also like your mental clarity, your energy, concentration, everything.
And doctor is correct. After the dinner, we have a lot of herbal tea and a lot of water.
Yes, as much as you need. Too much water, maybe not, because it might affect your sleep at night if you have to wake up and pee. That happens. So try also most of the water intake or liquid intake to have it during the day. And later in the evening, not so much, because sometimes it might affect and you might have to wake up.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm not sure, maybe you answered. Eating correctly at the right time of the day is vitally important. Could you explain how women should approach meal planning at the ideal timing, etc.?
Yeah, well, part of it we covered already. I would like maybe to elaborate a little bit on the breakfast part.
Yes.
Because, see, people think sometimes, breakfast is not so important. They skip it, they start with the lunch, they have the dinner. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It fuels you with energy for the day. And also, there's research saying what you eat at breakfast, even if you eat the same calories at breakfast or at dinner you will gain weight, at breakfast not. How your body processes food and calories is different morning and evening. So that makes a huge difference. So if you want to be energized and active during the day, you have a good breakfast. You might feel less hungry with a good breakfast and a good lunch at dinner time. So the whole circle changes. So for meal planning, you need to plan it accordingly. So you have a good balanced breakfast, you have a lunch, and you have a mini dinner.
Yes.
Mostly I tell people, listen, just a soup.
A soup is perfect.
It's the perfect dinner, it's a warming food. It's not too heavy, it contains liquids, and you can vary it and put your veggies in there, and it's like the lightest you can have.
I think also I asked you last time about a lot of people always ask me how many calories of this cake you made and things. I don't count calories because I work on my timing. So in the morning, always my biggest meal, where I eat a lot of porridge and a lot of cooked fruit. As you know, I cook my fruit because my digestive system doesn't work with raw food. So I eat that, and in the evening I always go for the soup and with vegetables. So it's very important we tell people why they shouldn't worry too much about the calories, and let's enjoy real food.
And also, if you eat that way, your natural hunger will be adjusted. So you feel full when you're full, when you had enough. You feel hungry when your body needs energy. So if you are on a, let's say, plant-based healthy diet and you have your regular meals, you will not be having cravings. You will not be overeating. Your body will naturally know when it's enough. So that is very easy. Counting calories might be helpful if you're really on a weight loss program and you need really to, to watch it. But again, you just need to know what is calorie-dense food and good food. Vegetables, they are full of fiber, they are full of vitamins, and they hardly have calories. So you can't just actually overeat on that. Even the legumes, they have a little bit more calories, but they have high protein. So you will feel full, plus the fiber in them. If you change your lifestyle, you will not have to worry about calories, and your weight might be 1 kilo up, 1 kilo down, but basically stable.
Okay, so more and more people appear to becoming more allergic. We talked about this, and intolerant for certain food. And also I've noticed that from when I started on my channel that everybody always tell me, I can't eat quinoa, I have a bloated stomach, I can't eat oats, how can you eat oats? So can you please advise us what type of test we should do before we start eliminate the food?
So for that, if you have purely digestion symptoms, you need to do a food intolerance test. That will find out which food you don't tolerate, you don't digest well, and it's causing inflammation in your body. And sometimes you might not know, maybe you feel bad after breakfast, but the breakfast is not the problem, because food intolerances, the symptoms can happen 72 hours later. So maybe it's the dinner that's bothering you at that time in the morning. So that's why a blood test is required, and can tell you then exactly what food is not suitable for you and you should avoid. So, of course, the most culprits is always the gluten, the dairy, and the eggs, but it can be anything healthy as well. It could be, for some people, bananas, for other people it could be tomato, bell pepper, it could be anything. So it's important that this is very, very individualized and tailor-made, and you cannot give the same advice to two people, because this will be according to your IgG levels in the blood, and we know what you react to. And why it happens more often now, there's different theories about that. People say that food is more processed, that the gluten content in the core and in the crops is much, much higher, so that affects people, and also that our diet has become more monotonous. You know, some people really, they have the same breakfast every day, the same lunch, and then, no surprise, when you do the test, it comes up without intolerances, because you're basically eating only one thing, and at one point your immune system will say, it's done.
A lot of people I can see here, they're asking me about the oats, الشوفان, عم بسألها عن الشوفان.
Oats naturally, oats were gluten-free. With the industrialization, all that, they got cross-contaminated with gluten, but you find them gluten-free. And this test will tell you exactly, if your intolerance is only to the gluten in the oats, you can eat the gluten-free oats. If your intolerance is to the gluten and the oat itself, then you cannot have even the gluten-free oats. So that will be different for different people.
Okay. So ما تنسوا رح احط كل شيء مترجم بعدين على اليوتيوب. شايفتكم عم تسألوني بالعربي. Do you feel women need to take supplement and vitamins, and what age and what type of vitamin do you suggest, and how people know what type of vitamin they should take, and especially probiotic?
Well, regarding the vitamins, there's no age to start taking vitamins, even from children's age. To have a good multivitamin in addition to a healthy diet is something that makes sure you get all your basic needs at all times. And then what I do here a lot is I test people for the vitamins and minerals, and I found out exactly what they are deficient in, and you will be surprised. Of course, everybody knows here in this country, vitamin D levels are very, very low, which is a big problem for women because your risk for breast cancer, your risk for colon cancer is increased, besides osteoporosis and everything else. But B12 deficiency, I come across, let's say maybe 80% of my patients have not sufficient levels of B12, and that is your brain nerve vitamin. And sometimes it's B5, sometimes even vitamin C is low, zinc or magnesium is low. So to give specific advice, it is very good to know your levels. And then, besides the multivitamin, you supplement the other things that people are deficient in. And then you give them really a valuable supplementation, because some of the vitamins are also fat soluble.
Correct.
So you can overdose them and then you can do harm as well. So actually it's better knowing than guessing. So a multivitamin, good quality, is safe, but to start taking here and there, like vitamin E, people sometimes take very high levels of vitamin E. It's fat soluble, so you can overdose. Vitamin D, you can overdose. So it's important to know what you need and then take that specifically until your levels are good, and then you continue your healthy food and you continue your multivitamin. So this is something very important, and sometimes really symptoms like body aches and pains, low energy, fatigue are symptoms of vitamin deficiency. And your immune system, of course, gets compromised.
So what else, doctor, you think we can ask? Like, this is my main 5 question was, but anything would you like to add?
Yeah, probiotic, you mentioned
Yes.
probiotic. This is probiotic. It's very good for your digestion and for your immune system. I mean, your gut bacteria, they build your immune system. So it's very, very important that you take care of that. You can eat fermented foods, of course, but if that's too much hassle or you don't like it, a probiotic is in addition to a multivitamin. This is like kind of a baseline that for a healthy lifestyle should be part of your self-care routine.
And do you think, is it by tablet or powder? How?
Usually it's capsule form, because
Okay.
then it bypasses the stomach acid and then opens up where you really absorb it. And a good probiotic should contain prebiotic as well. And the shelf life should be good. See, if with your probiotic you can culture yogurt, means it's living bacteria and it's good quality. And also the question is, does it stay in the intestine? Sometimes some of the probiotic, the formulation is you take it and everything goes out the other way and you have no benefit because they don't stay. Here, when some people have really bad digestion problems, I check the stool test and check how much good bacteria they have. If it's little, I give them the probiotic and then I check after. And I can really see that the brands we use are working because the levels of the good bacteria that we're giving increase. So this is also some important information. People are fixed on the billions. Oh, I take, I don't know how many billion in my supplement. This billion, if they don't stick in your gut, they go in and out and there's no benefit out of that.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Can you talk to us one more question about the genetic testing?
Yeah, genetic testing, we're talking here about epigenetics. Means in your body, some of your genes have a switch. You can switch them on or off, and that's something that you inherit from your parents. So to know your weaknesses is what we find out with this test. So we know if you are at risk, let's say, for high blood pressure, you are at risk for colon cancer, for diabetes, for Alzheimer's disease, for breast cancer. So many diseases we can now put together if you have that predisposition. It does not mean you will get it. It means you need to be careful, and then of course you can do lifestyle adjustments and say, okay, this is the point, that's my weakness, I will make sure I do everything I can that this doesn't happen. For example, for me, I found out lung cancer is something that I have a predisposition. I will never start smoking, and I will make sure I don't inhale chemicals because this might affect me. And that explains, for example, some people say, oh, my grandfather, he smoked for 50 years, he lived happily ever after. Other people smoke for 2 years and they get a lung cancer. Yes, your grandfather didn't have that SNP, which this predisposition, and the other person had it. So if you know what you have, you can choose. You can make options, what you want to do in order to protect yourself. You still want to smoke, you can, but you know what risk you're taking.
Okay.
And the same thing happens for all the other things. When doctor says, for example, if you have high blood pressure, you have to reduce your salt. It's not for everyone, you know. Some people have this SNP that salt doesn't affect the blood pressure. They can have a normal salt intake. They don't need to have the bland food. So if you know even for medicines, how you process medicines, what dosage you need, the pharmacokinetics of that. All this nowadays you can find out with this genetic test, and then you can adjust your lifestyle. It's all about prevention, actually.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like we have that chance that to do testing and know. At what age, doctor, we can do the genetic testing?
You can do it at any age. Usually we don't do it in children, because if you confront like young children or very young adults with this information, it can be maybe a little bit troublesome. But any adult, let's say starting from 21, that wants to take care of himself or having family history, let's say he has parents with health issues, then you should do the test, and that will not change because this is your predisposition.
What do the parents want to know about their children?
It depends. In different countries there are really rules and regulations in place. In Germany, for example, you cannot do that. Here, I'm not sure. But of course, if the doctor has the consent of the parent and wants to do that, it's possible. On the other hand, if you know your risk and your husband know his risk, then you can kind of know a little bit what can come up. If you are fine with almost everything, chances are very small that your kids will have bigger problems. But in theory, you can do it at any age. That doesn't change. So the earlier the better, because then really you can do things that you want to do to prevent.
Absolutely. And I think we asked you a lot of questions, and I'm so happy to do maybe more detail live next week or next time to talk about specific. And I'm definitely coming to do the genetic. I'm definitely doing the genetic testing because I know, and I told before to the team here that my parents and all our family have a lot of health issues. And thanks God till now I don't have any serious health issue or anything, but I'm always believe that because of my lifestyle.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, for my lifestyle, because my mom was 10 years younger than me and she had a lot of health issues because of the way we live, and you know, there's not much education in the olden days like now. So I really want to thank you for today.
Thank you.
I will talk now live to tell everyone, because I can see they're asking me where they can do the test and everything. So thank you very much, doctor.
Thank you so much, Maha.
كتبوا نعم اسمه تحليل الجينات بالعربي، وخليكم لحظة رح مثل ما قلت لكم رح خليه مسجل اللايف ونزله على اليوتيوب. كانت عم تقول دكتور ماريا هيدا الفحص الجينات فيكم تعملوه بركي مش للأولاد الصغار، بس بركي من 18-19 سنة، ونعم بالإمارات فيكم تعملوا بدبي. رح احط لكم كل التفاصيل. شكرا كتير. بجي على اللايف برجع بعد كم يوم، وبركي بنعمل لايف تاني نحكي عن مواضيع معينة. هلا اليوم كان أكثر جنرال مع دكتور ماريا، بس نزل هذا الفيديو على IGTV. بليز اكتبوا كل أسئلتكم عشان أعرف الموضوع التاني عن شو حيكون. شكرا كتير and bye for now. Okay, and now let's save.
Oh, wow.